They argued that there is need to shun the rudimentary coffee production methods that have hindered the African global coffee output and espouse better scientific methods of production, like the use of machinery, fertilizers, technology that could lead to enhanced yields. Statistics from International Coffee Organization indicate that Uganda, in spite of being Africa's largest coffee exporter, registered a shortfall in coffee exports. Cumulative exports from January to December amounted to 5.63 million bags compared to 6.77 million bags in 2021. A 20.25% decrease driven by drought, the industry lobby said in its latest report.
Coffee industry generates, by last coffee year, $460 billion. The coffee producing countries combined, earned an average of $25 billion. Now, that is about 5% of the global value. That is too low. And when we say all producer countries combined, it includes Brazil and Colombia, Uganda and the rest. Okay, so that is too low. 5% is too low.
However, statistics indicate that other producing countries in Africa like Ivory Coast, Kenya, Tanzania registered better output than Uganda. The 1.14 million bags production deficit saw Uganda lagging behind her African competitors, with Ivory Coast, Kenya and Tanzania a 69.4%, 33.2% and 18.6% increase respectively. Basing on such a downward production trend, stakeholders argue that there is need for an institutional framework to transform the coffee sector to a level it envisions.
Within the economy, we are also looking at how we can improve on research, on managing the diseases that are affecting the crop, and how we can also improve on the value addition in the whole value chain, so that this can expand the job opportunities. And you have had the president raising a few issues on how we can help this sector perform better.
Further research has indicated that Africa's coffee production potential has also been hindered by poor socio-economic development issues, especially limited funding from government.
These farm organizations and cooperatives. Number 3, we have looked at the necessary investment and financing that is required to drive coffee value addition. Okay, what resources do we need in terms of funding, government funding the sector?
In spite of all these challenges, the former Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Victoria Sechitoleko, has urged stakeholders in the sector to use the available funds more wisely instead of continuously lamenting about the limited funding.
In life, it is very difficult to say I have enough money. In fact, there are very few people who I have met who have said they have enough money. For me, what is important is what are you doing with what you have? Because like right now, the sun, the drought, the coffee is suffering all that, but what are you doing in order to maintain that? How much money do you need? Because, for example, when you go to most parts of Uganda and Ankole, they have actually mulched their coffee so well. They have been growing these trees, so they have made a microcosm of their own.
There are also concerns that African producers of the beans don't add their fair share in the global value chain, sparking agitation for processing capacity.
Than the middlemen. And I think these are the areas we're also discussing, and the resolutions are there.
Even with the modest growth output registered by countries like Ethiopia, Uganda and Tanzania in the last decade, higher costs as well as use of fertilizer and bad weather are conniving to deny the continent productivity levels last seen in the 90s, even as the world supply deficit keeps growing. Ronana Habwe, SMART24 TV, Business Today.